Russian Shahed drones begin falling apart in the air as quality worsens. Ukrainian air defense personnel engaged in intercepting Russian Shahed series of long-range one-way attack drones have published footage showing multiple examples of the weapons literally disintegrating in the air before reaching their targets, a visible sign of deepening manufacturing failures at Russia's Alabuga drone production complex. The video, published by Ukrainian Wild Hornets drone maker, captures the moment of interception of several Garin drones, the Russian-produced version of the Iranian-designed Shahed 136, known in Russian service as the geranium, with striking physical deterioration visible on the airframes themselves. The intercepted drones are shown with access panels torn away, bent and crumpled wingtip surfaces, and in at least one case, a completely detached nose fairing. The footage was captured from Sting interceptor drones, a Ukrainian-made drone confirmed to be in active use against Garin-type targets. The physical degradation observed is not the result of enemy fire. Ukrainian forces operating intercept missions have increasingly noted that a portion of incoming Garin drones arrive already structurally compromised with loose or missing panels, deformed control surfaces, or separated aerodynamic components before any intercept engagement begins. This phenomenon has been observed with growing frequency, and the publication of the footage represents the Ukrainian military's effort to document and publicize the pattern. The Garin, too, Russia's domestic copy of the Shahed 136, is a delta-wing, propeller-driven one-way attack drone with a roughly 185 km/h cruise speed and a warhead that Russian-manufactured variants have progressively increased to as much as 90 kilograms, up from the original Iranian design's approximately 50 kilograms. The airframe is built primarily from composite materials and relies on a rear-mounted pusher propeller engine, with flight guidance handled by a GPS/inertial navigation system. At its designed cruise profile, the drone typically flies at low altitude on pre-programmed routes before diving on its target. The Alabuga Special Economic Zone in Russia's Tatarstan region is the primary production site for the Garin family. The factory operates around the clock and has sought thousands of workers, primarily young women and girls, some as young as 15, recruited from Africa. About 200 African women, mostly between 18 and 22 years old, are employed at the facility, with documented reports of workers describing the conditions as a trap, with costs for accommodation, airfare, and Russian language classes deducted from their wages. In July 2025, multiple reports, including a documentary by the Russian Defense Ministry's own Zvezda channel, indicated that Russia was using children and teenagers to assemble the Shahed drones used to attack Ukraine. The workforce conditions have direct implications for production quality. The facility's rapid expansion has been driven entirely by volume targets rather than manufacturing standards. Between September 2023 and June 2024, 34 Chinese companies signed contracts worth over $96 million to provide parts, materials, and production equipment to the Alabuga facility. Ukrainian intelligence confirmed the use of a Chinese-made Telefly jet engine powering both the Garin 3 and Garin 5 variants, highlighting how deeply embedded Chinese component supply chains are in Russia's drone warfare infrastructure. The propeller-driven Garin 2 variants shown in the Ukrainian intercept footage rely on an engine sourced from Chinese suppliers that analysts have assessed as inferior in quality and durability to the original Iranian specification power plant. Russia treats the Garin as a volume weapon and prices it accordingly. Projected production costs for a single Garin 2 were estimated at approximately $48,000, roughly 25% of what purchasing a comparable drone would cost. That cost pressure flows directly into the assembly line. Pre-flight preparation procedures appear to be routinely abbreviated or skipped entirely, likely a consequence of the pressure to maintain launch cadences. In 2025, Russia launched between 50,000 and 55,000 Shahed-type drones at targets inside Ukraine, a tempo that demands constant output from a workforce that, by documented accounts, includes people with minimal technical training. Ukrainian strike operations against Alabuga-connected launch infrastructure have added further stress to the system. Ukraine has increasingly targeted Shahed launch and storage sites, including confirmed operations against facilities at the Primorsko-Akhtarsk airfield in Krasnodar Krai, the Milarovo military airfield in Rostov region, and the most substantial confirmed site in the Tizmilova district of Russia's Oryol region. Personnel responsible for pre-launch preparation at forward positions are operating under constant threat, accelerating the shortcuts that produce the kind of structural defects captured in the Ukrainian footage. Data from March 2026 shows that the hit rate for Shahed-type UAVs reached its lowest point since March 2025, with a sustained decline in strike effectiveness beginning in October 2025 despite Russia continuing to increase launch volumes. The degradation in physical build quality is one factor contributing to that pattern. A drone that loses its nose fairing in flight faces obvious guidance and aerodynamic penalties that reduce the probability of a successful strike. Russia has simultaneously pursued upgrades to more capable variants. The Garand 5, which debuted in January 2026, has shed the original Delta Wing design entirely, adopting a conventional cruise missile configuration with a Chinese turbojet and reported air launch capability from Su-25 aircraft. Yet these more capable systems exist alongside a base production line where quality controls appear to have essentially collapsed. The Russian approach treats the Garand 2 as disposable ordnance, a tool of attrition rather than precision, and the Ukrainian footage of drones shedding panels and fairings at altitude is a direct consequence of that logic.